I'd like to call the Planning Commission meeting to order for December 4th, 2023. If you would stand and say the pledge. Could you call roll?
Tom Cherry. Gina Geis-Hurst.
Here.
Sam LaVoy.
Here.
John Harrison.
Here.
Charles Thompson.
Here.
Melissa Weidenbach.
Here.
Victor Mendoza. Denise Little.
Here.
Paul Sosowski.
Here.
I don't think we have an active committee right now, but is there any reports from staff?
The only report that I would have is, and the approval needed would be the Plan Commission calendar that I had sent for the 2024 yearly Plan Commission dates and DRC, and just needing to have the commission vote and approve that calendar for next year.
Has everybody had a chance to look at it?
Yes.
If so, may I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Who's called it?
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Could you call our first order of business?
P0222 MPGA LLC, care of Kevin Koros, McMahon Associates, Inc., 4501 Airport Drive, Unit 101, Valparaiso, Indiana, seeking primary plat approval for Northwood Trail subdivision, 34.80 acres at the 6500 block of Oak Porter Road. There's approximately 82 lots.
Good evening. Are you going to read this letter?
I
I am not, but I can.
Summarize it.
I will summarize it in my own, if that's fine.
That's fine.
Pretty much one and the same. All right, good evening. Kevin Koros, McMahon Associates, 952 South State Road 2, Valparaiso, Indiana, 46385. Here with Jason Gilliana of MPGA. As I just pointed out with you, just handed out were an official letter from Mr. Bill Ferngren, Ferngren Law Offices. He was not able to attend tonight, so that's just his statement of fact there. I will summarize that as part of my reading tonight, as it's mostly the same thing. We're here to discuss Northwood Trail subdivision, which was continued from last Plan Commission on November 6th. The reason for the continuance being so the board could see the previously requested cul-de-sac that didn't make it onto the plans or on there, which you should have received already at the end of Candy Avenue. As you are aware, the project's been a long time in coming to get here. It did not come out of nowhere and did not happen overnight. This has been reviewed by the City of Portage's team multiple times and has seen a few iterations in order to come to the conclusion that we're at here now. There has been multiple public opinion and speculation, and this board has opened up the public quorum twice. However, there's been no issue on record for any reason as to why the project does not conform to the city's overall master plan. We've made numerous revisions and concessions and have asked for no variances to the city's stormwater or development ordinance. The plan conforms to the current master plan, zoning, and ordinance, and is in keeping with the standard municipal metropolitan area. Today at 12:45 p.m., I received correspondence from the City of Portage stating that they received approval from Luke Sherry of Christopher Burke regarding the stormwater management, and Mr. Charles Thompson of Avonmarsh regarding the subdivision engineering. Said correspondence also mentioned the need for review of Old Porter Road by the Board of Public Works and Safety. So that was going to be for the circulation of traffic and for the reconstruction itself of Old Porter Road. Per the request by the Plan Commission at that time, it was stated that we needed to go to the Board of Works to present in front of them. We did that, got on the board, and then was taken off at the point of Dan Witten, the city's attorney, stating that we shouldn't be there until after the Plan Commission has given the project approval. So he took us down, and I guess we have to wait for your approval now to go back to him. Knowing that, we still need to go to the Board of Public Works and Safety. The Plan Commission can approve the project tonight, contingent upon any conditions as necessary, but we know that tonight's approval isn't a release of the permit, it's an approval of the development plan. We've performed tree surveys, worked with the city to help develop an area for greenways and bike trails, installed a cul-de-sac that doesn't benefit the property, and adhere to every bit of the city's ordinance. I call upon you guys to make approval of this tonight. We've had 2 public meetings, this is the 3rd. It's up to you whether you'll open up that public quorum again. But this project has been reviewed, has been staff approved, and adheres to the ordinance. So I'll leave it to you guys. I'm here to answer any questions that I might be able to help you with. And I'll leave it to you.
I'll open to questions from the commission. The one question I have is for Attorney McClure about the note of dedicating the swath of land around the cul-de-sac to the city.
What's your question?
Why would they think it has to be dedicated to the city?
I'm not sure I'm completely following the question.
Tina, can you show them that cul-de-sac where that note?
No, I get that, but is it dedicated to the city at the city's request?
We assumed it's going to be public infrastructure, so we would dedicate it to the city.
Okay.
So it would have to be dedicated to the city?
The cul-de-sac itself?
No, not the cul-de-sac.
The property surrounding the cul-de-sac?
The property surrounding this cul-de-sac?
Because otherwise, we wouldn't have anyone that would be taking care of it.
It's an easement, so nobody can build on it or anything else.
Correct. But it still needs to be maintained in some manner.
Okay.
Does that make, I mean,
I've
otherwise.
seen otherwise where we have property, little parcels that are not maintained by the city that I know of. I've just never seen this.
Well, in fairness, we normally don't put a cul-de-sac in that we don't have houses surrounding. So that's why I think we're in a nuance here, that this, between the petitioner and the board, there's a cul-de-sac that doesn't have houses around it. I don't think anyone, or at least the vast majority, don't believe that we want houses around the cul-de-sac.
Correct.
So I think we've created, because of those back and forth, so we created a specific situation that isn't abnormal subdivision situation we deal with, because I can't think of another cul-de-sac that doesn't have houses around it in the city.
There's one in Hidden Waters that only has two lots on that cul-de-sac.
But is there any property not owned
There is.
around
There
the
is.
cul-de-sac?
There
Is
is.
it part of the HOA or the stormwater system?
That I don't know for 100%.
Because normally, that's in a normal situation where we don't have any dedication to the city. What we have is the property is either owned by the individual property lot itself, or it's owned by the HOA because it's either part of the amenities or part of the system in which the HOA is taking care of.
Right.
Right. We don't normally have a situation where we have a cul-de-sac and we don't have that property either going to an HOA or being owned by a private citizen who would purchase the lot.
On the plat, I believe it shows it belongs to Lot 15.
Then if it's not a fee simple dedication, if it's an easement dedication, then the easement has to be dedicated to the city in order to ensure that it can't be built on. If we're only talking about an easement dedication and not a fee simple would mean outright ownership to the city. An easement dedication is that we are putting this conservation easement over this, dedicated to the city, so that if anyone attempted to not abide by that easement, the city would be the authority to say, no, this is a conservation easement, you're not allowed to be in here and cut these things down.
Okay,
That's the difference.
okay.
I apologize, I was taking the dedication to mean a fee simple dedication and not an easement. Otherwise, an easement dedication is normal when you're doing a conservation easement, because it has to be dedicated to someone. We wouldn't want it dedicated to an HOA or to an individual property owner, because then they would ultimately be responsible for enforcing it.
Okay.
So if I may also expand upon that, you are correct, we are intending fee simple. This would be no different than any other right-of-way that's dedicated as part of public right-of-way and infrastructure. In fact, if you even look at, I can't read that, Green Tree Street, I believe, which goes north and ends in a cul-de-sac, it's a very similar situation. The only reason why this is blocked versus something that's circular is simply just to make ease of ownership easier. No one wants to own a radius piece, if that helps.
Any other questions?
The gentleman just said again, fee simple, but it's not a fee simple, it's a
Well,
conservation.
is it a fee simple
It-
dedication?
It's intended to be dedicated as fee simple to the city.
Okay.
Okay, in that case, are we gonna have a is there gonna be a sidewalk around the,
Correct. It is currently constructed to the City of Portage standards.
okay. But we're not gonna have a problem with this fee simple issue?
I don't believe so, because again, at the end of the day, it has to be dedicated to someone, and in this
Yeah.
circumstance, whether it's the easement or the fee simple, the city's the appropriate body to enforce the logic for wanting the dedication to begin with. Because ultimately, we don't want this built on. This ensures that it would take almost an act of Congress for there to be houses around it, and that's the intention. So that's why I think the dedication is the proper way of doing that.
And it's then our property to maintain
Correct.
as a city.
I mean, there's a pro and con of it, but the pro is, it won't have houses on it. We know that, period. When I think that was ultimately the goal.
Seemed to us, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Questions?
Can you explain a little bit more about the trees and replanting, just to make everyone aware and
Yeah,
understand?
absolutely. So as requested by the board, we were asked to provide a tree survey, of which we did, one done by Soil Solutions, Inc., whom the city uses for numerous items that they also need. They also did perform the detention basin borings on the site as well. They're one of only a handful of potential scientists that can do that. They were chosen to do the tree survey. They came up with, because the city doesn't have an exact, and Mr. Clerk can correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't have a specific set criteria on what is defined as a good tree. So the understanding by Soil Solutions was to go around, survey, and collect trees that are of good nature and good wood and provide good nourishment, of which they found, I believe, if you go to sheet C 1.4, I believe, you'll see kind of the location of where those are, and also in the notes section, talk about, of those, I think he found about 34 trees, I believe. Or 36, of which 6 are anticipated needing to come out. And then on the back side of that, we'll obviously be planting trees as part of Portage's ordinance, which is well-defined as far as what needs to be planted for subdivision use. Street trees, which are a tree every 40 feet of lineal frontage on each side, so you've got trees there. There are additional trees that have to be planted as part of the building site plan process. So when somebody comes in with a site plan for Lot 8, they'll have to show where these trees are gonna be planted and what trees are gonna be taken out. So overall, I think the calculation was 36 were determined to be good. The rest were just not great growth. Per the landscape ordinance, will be, the subdivision as a whole will be planting approximately 415 trees back in. That's also on top of trees within lots that owners of those lots may determine that they want to keep as well. So that doesn't include that those number of trees might be staying as well. As much as the public doesn't want to see these guys, I can guarantee these guys don't want to see the other side either. So I'm sure most, and that was done by design to kind of put a little authority back to the city when site plans are done, so that they have a little bit of say as to how these trees get handled. You're welcome.
Any questions? If there's no questions, may I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the primary plat. I'll amend that. I make approval of the primary plat contingent upon the Board of Works. Approval of the Board of Works.
So your motion is to approve contingent upon the Board of Works hearing and approving a road construction plan on Old Porter Road?
Correct.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Could you call roll?
Gina Geishurst,
Yes.
Sam LaVoy,
Yes.
John Harrison,
Yes.
Charles Thompson,
Yes.
Melissa Weidenbach,
No.
Denise Little,
Yes.
Paul Sosowski.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I believe the motion passed 6-1.
Yes. Any old business?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
May I have a motion to adjourn?
Wait, Denise?
Yeah.
Did you approve minutes? I didn't catch that.
Sorry. Has everybody had an opportunity to look at the minutes? If there are no corrections or additions, may I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. May I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
A
Second.
All those in favor say aye.